Hey guys, Tim Fields, Sana USA, Sana Juicers. Thank you for all the kind words and the requests from our last video. So I wanted to put something together. The most widely requested thing was a comparison video between basically all of our machines, but I think definitely because the focus is on our newest machine, the 707C, that they wanted to see how it compared to the Nama J2. So I have both machines here. We'll do a quick rundown of the machines. We'll do a quick juicing demo, maybe two, and if we have time and if I can figure out a camera angle here, I'll also do a cleaning demonstration, but we'll see when we get to that point. Both machines I have here are white. Both machines have very similar quality motors, very similar horsepower, everything like that, so I don't really think there's one advantage to one machine or the other over that. As far as the parts are concerned between the two machines, I don't think I have the right plastic cups for the Nama because I have so many of these different parts from different juicers laying around, but they are very similar to this. It's two plastic cups, one for the juice, one for the pulp. Well, the other way around, one for the juice, one for the pulp. So that's one thing between those two units. With the Sana, we have this nice stainless steel bowl that's for your pulp collection. It's very deep, it holds a lot, it's going to last forever and look very nice while it does that. And we do have the large Sana measuring cup. I do have a sieve for a screen for this. I'll show that when we're juicing. So this also comes with it. I think the Nama also has a sieve, so very similar as far as count of pieces so far, but much more upgraded parts between the with the Sana over the Nama. Both machines have a plunger or a pusher. That's very common. With the Sana, we have a few pieces here. We have the main clear drum that holds everything. On the end of it, we have a drum cap. Inside of it, for this juicing demonstration, we have the celery attachment. We have the fine juicing screen. It also comes with another coarse juicing screen and a blank for doing non-juicing functions. But I'm just showing you what's used for this process right now. We do have an auger and, like I said, the clear drum. So we have 5 pieces in play right now. We can put these all together as one piece and put them into the machine, or we can also put one each on the machine. But as far as assembly, that's your entire process. So with the Nama, you lift this entire machine over. As far as similar parts, you have again the auger, which we had. You have the juicing screen, which we also have. I think they also do come with a coarse version of this and a blank for like frozen desserts for this. And then they have the cleaning screen, which is not needed in a horizontal juicer, but many vertical juicers will have that. You have the clear drum like we have. And then you have this extra piece, which is their hopper, the batch chamber, I'm not sure what they call it. Has an extra blade inside there. So again, we're at 5 pieces, but the extra piece I had was one little round piece in here, and this is the extra piece for them. So when you get into the cleaning process, I've timed this many times. Hopefully I can do that later in this video. The cleanup process on this is averaging right around 30 seconds. Once you get these parts to the sink, 30 seconds, you're done. This machine, it's running around 90 seconds. So about a minute longer to clean with this machine, just because the screen surface area is probably almost 10 times what we have in our machine, or in the Sana. The other parts are all very similar. The auger is going to clean the same. This is going to be more difficult than our extra little piece or our drum cap, whichever you're comparing it to, because we have very smooth edges, so everything just rinses off of the celery attachment and the drum cap. So this, you'll get pulp all in the little edges here, and just rinsing it, if you're spending time rinsing it, you have to do so many angles, so many different ways to get everything off of there. Not really have to scrub it, really rinsing will do it, but it does take a little bit of effort to get every little spot, because you don't want to find it, you miss some pulp in here the next time you juice, because it might have sat there kind of wet for a while and then kind of rots or just festers. Our clear drum, the cleaning of that is a very simple process. You you rinse it, you know, just rinse underwater, through here, through here, through here, maybe through there, just move it around a few times and it rinses clean. Whereas this machine you have, for the similar piece, you have, you know, you got to make sure you get that cleaned out in there, and there's a, for UL safety purposes, there's a stop in there, so you can't get a brush or your finger the whole way through. So there's some little, you can't go the whole way through there. They do have a nice ejection port here that this does open, because in older models, vertical juicers, you had to do the same thing. You get stuck kind of in here. Now you can open that, remove that, and you get on here. But there's some silicone flaps and things that are, you know, you have to pull out and not lose, or you try and rinse around it. There's little holes here and there. You know, it's just a little bit more of a rinsed out thing. Again, no real brushes needed. You might have some pulp embedded in here that you have to kind of pry out, but it's still not that difficult. And then the extra piece for them is the one that I think is the most difficult piece to clean. And this is where you spend some extra time. You have pulp that gets pushed up from the auger area up onto the bottom of this. So that'll basically rinse out. But then you have this spinning blade in here. I don't know if you can see it spins there. Things wrap around it. Things get between the blade, which is right around here, and this black base. They get embedded underneath it. So it's very difficult to get those things out. There's a lot of like just, you know, there's an overhang under here that you can't see. You have to get under that to make sure that's clean. And then all these little ridges the whole way around. Here, the ridges go the whole way around. Functionally, I think what this is for is when you put like a carrot in here, it doesn't just ride around this blade and just move with it. It gives it a bunch of different spots to maybe make it stop or jump or whatever, and give the blade a chance to then cut the next section of that carrot off. So, but that's makes the rinsing of it a little bit harder. And then you have this whole lid thing that everything kind of moves up into, so you got to make sure you rinse all that. So it's a lot of weird, you know, nooks and crannies and places like that where it's just a little bit more difficult to clean. So for the cleaning process, like I said, on average, I'm seeing about 30 seconds here. On average, I'm seeing about 90 seconds here. This is something you can easily see. If I can do the washing video, I've already done some videos in the past of the cleaning process, and it shows how long it can be for machines like this. And this is just so simple and quick. I absolutely love it. So I already showed you how to put this machine together before, but I'll do it again since all the parts are out. Last time I put them all together, I put it together and put them on. This time I'm just going to put it one piece at a time. That clear drum, auger the whole way in, juicing screen, if we're using the fine juicing screen. I do have the celery attachment in here. Put that on, slides up like that. You're done with this machine. Get this out of the way. We have the drum cleaning screen. Goes onto this and spins. There's a little gear down here that makes it spin. You have to line this up with the ejection. Pretty quick for me. I've done this millions of times. Make sure the auger spins or it's not the whole way down. Put this on. Line it up off to the side here. Push. Oh, I'm doing it backwards even. Line it up here. And it goes to the front. That's that. And then the whole machine goes on to this. Like I said earlier, the motors are very similar. The warranties are very similar. Sono offers a 15-year warranty. If there's any 15-year warranty in the industry, it was started by me under a previous brand when many machines were 60 days, 90 days, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. You know, so I started the 15-year trend many years ago. Nama did not do the 15-year trend right away or follow with the trend. They did, I think within the last year, pivot to a warranty more like Sana, because Sana is already famous for its warranty. Our warranty covers the motor, the parts, and labor. So it covers everything. And if the machine actually needs shipped into us, if it's the first year, I'll normally just send a label and pick it up. If it's after the first year, you have to pay to send it to us. There's so few problems with motors that realistically it's just a part. we'll just ship you the part for free. So you don't have to send the part to us and pay freight. We just ship it to you for free. It's a very simple process with us. You buy the machine, you register at sonausa.com, or you register on our website, sonausa.com. So you can send us that email or go to a form on our website. You're registered. It's very simple. And then you just email directly with us and we get you whatever you need to get you up and running. And I think if you look at our reviews, we're second to none. No one's touching the type of customer service that we have for our machines. It does help that there's not a lot of customer service as far as repairs and broken parts because we make a good quality machine. For quite some time, the NAMA warranty was, they did the full length warranty on their marketing materials, but then when you actually read into it, you found out that it was just the parts or just the motor. I forget which way it went, because the marketing materials now show that it's the entire machine. I don't know if that covers the labor or service to it. I don't know how they're treating their shipping. So ultimately, I'm not exactly sure if their warranty is as good as ours. I do know, reading online, that their customer service can be a little slow to respond. I haven't tested that out myself, so I don't absolutely know that. I've seen from other videos that people have had to push them to try and make their customer service better, and that possibly they are improving it now, so that's a good thing. Because ultimately, if you buy this machine, you buy this machine, you buy another machine, we just want you to be able to juice every day. So ultimately, get what's best for you, and hopefully the warranty process, if needed, is a nice and a convenient service for you. The J2 does come in white and black right now. Most of the Sana machines come in red and black. For this model, the 707C, we do have white and red and black, so we do have 3 color options for it. It's very nice looking, smooth, sleek design, very easy to carry, very easy to move around. Everything kind of sits together. It's all one, it's nice and secure. This machine, like I said, comes in 2 colors, I think. Very secure if you carry it this way. You got to be careful that you don't lift up. There's nothing locking this in place, so it can topple if you're not carrying it right. But all in all, it's a very solid machine. What I do know as far as breakages with this machine is, because this flap comes up, there's a hinge back here. That's been a big problem for many people that I know that have had this before we were able to bring Sana to the USA. And even looking at other videos of people that are either complaining about it or just comparing it or just talking about why they do like it. That's one of the things they do complain is this does break. There's something else that breaks. I don't know if it has to do with this flap or not. It might be. But I know the motor's a very good motor. It'll last a long time, just like this motor. So I think you're safe there either way when it comes down to the motor on these machines. I will do celery juice next. It'll take me a minute to do at least the pre-prep for it, but then I'll show you kind of how we're prepped for everything, and then we'll get to juicing. Okay guys, I'm back. I have my celery at least pre-prep, meaning I took it as far as I could where it will work in both machines, or at least the prep for both machines, and I'll show you kind of the next steps. So I do have a scale here. I'll turn it on. We do a very nice Sana scales that I use for most juicing, but for this, because of the video being able to show you, I did go and find our old OXO that has this little thing that moves out. So you can see it's at 0 right now. I'm going to throw on this super duper big bowl. I'm going to 0 that again. You can see we're at 0 now. And I already pre-weighed this, so this should be about 3 pounds, 8 ounces. Let's see. You can see better than I can. 3 pounds, 8 ounces. Let's see, it's maybe a hair under. It's kind of bouncing back and forth with the wobble of the table. So we'll call it 3/8 because it's kind of sticking there. So now let's prep it for the Nama juicer. I don't know the best way to do this, so I'm going to move the scale out of the way for a second. We'll bring in our cutting board. Move the celery onto the cutting board. Move it all so I have a nice empty bowl. Might fast forward through this a little bit as I get into the cutting. I'm going to keep this out here. It should be at 0 again. The NAMA suggests cutting things like celery and other root vegetables, I think most items, into 2 to 3 inch pieces or less. So I'm ready to start cutting. I get rid of this phone call, turn on a timer so you can see kind of where we're at. So we're at 0. I'm going to hit start. It's running now. I'm going to sit it down. Get my knife. And we'll do this into the bowl. Make some room. I assume some people might not try and chop this much at one time like I am, so this process might take some people a little bit longer. I don't know that anyone would be able to do it really any quicker than I would. I have a nice sharp knife. It's a big knife. This should be the last cut here. So this piece might be a little bit longer than 3 inches, but only a couple. I hear a bunch of buzzing going on my phone. Sorry for that noise. So I think we're back at our 3.8 ounces, 3.5 pounds, and I'll hit stop, and we're at 1 minute, 7 seconds, just over 1 minute, 7 seconds. So a little bit more than a minute. It's probably about the fastest you can do it for 3.5 pounds of celery. Again, I have a nice sharp knife. It's rather large. I can see a lot of people doing each bunch. They take a celery out, chopping it into pieces, taking the next bunch out, chopping, so you might be into 2-3 minutes by the time you're done, but there's at least a prep for that. So I'm going to set that to the side. So we are at a negative number now. I'm going to bring this pile of celery up to here on the cutting board. Empty that out. Put this here. So we're back at a negative number. Running out of space here. I'll hit 0. You can see the 0. I'm going to put this pile of celery into here. You can see we're at 3.8 1/4. What's a quarter look like? And 1/8. I'll put those 2 pieces there because that was a hair shy, this is a hair high. So we're close. I can even remove another piece. I'll put it over the NAMA. Now what are we at? All right. 3 pounds, 8 ounces. All right, so let's get the timer ready again. It was, remember, 1 minute, 7 seconds. I'll reset it. We're back to 0. And I don't need to run it for the sauna because there is no prep to the sauna. We save a minute plus there just for the fact that you can put these full-size stalks right into the machine. So we are done with that part. So we'll set that to the side. Move this here out of the way. We don't need the cutting board for a little bit, so we'll move that out of the way. Let's get our juicing items into place. Again, I told you there was a sieve for the sauna. It fits nicely on the measuring bowl. It stays out of the way for pouring. I do not use this during the juicing process. Some people like to, I don't. I think with any juicer that offers this, be it sauna or all the other brands, as you juice into this, sometimes things will get stuck in the sieve that normally wouldn't because it's sitting there for a little bit of time and there's maybe other pulp in its way that it would normally go through, but the other pulp gives the reason to slow down and it stops, and now there's actually more of a buildup here than it should. I actually prefer to just juice directly into this, and then if it's something I do want to strain, I just strain through into whatever I'm going to drink it out of, or another one of these because I have hundreds of these. So we have our measuring cup juice container in place. We have our stainless steel cup here. Okay guys, sorry for the pause there. You may not have noticed this, but we do have a cut in the video. There was a lawnmower outside. It was taking way too long, so I just cut it out. So if he comes back, I might turn the sound down, but I'll just keep going through. Here's the timer starting now, starting with the Sonnet 707. So about 5 minutes to do 3.5 pounds of celery. You notice I didn't have to use the plunger at all. Probably should have done a little less because I don't know how I'm going to pour the juice out of this cup. This is a 1 liter cup. This is much more than 1 liter. That might be a difficult task. So ultimately, we have 2 different types of cups these are going into anyway. I don't really suggest using visual cues to test how much juice you have. See all the pulp in there, it's very dry. I'll set that to the side in case we want to do an inspection later. There's some residual juice in the juicer, but like I said, my biggest fear right now is how to pour this properly. But anyway, back to measuring. Even if I had, 2 of these or 2 of these or 2 measuring cups from Pyrex or one of the other companies or just some random ones you find at the store, very often the lines, are not always accurate. Ours seem to be pretty accurate. I've checked them quite a few times, but one production run to the next, with even companies as big as Pyrex, you might find that these are sometimes off. So I never really use these as a comparison, unless I'm just doing a quick visual for myself. But for something like this, and what you want to hear is you want to know how much juice I got out of how much juice I got out of 3.5 pounds of celery. So the best way to do that is by weight. So we bring back our scale. I would normally measure into another measuring cup or maybe something like this. I'm afraid I'm going to spill too much of this. So what I think we'll do is we'll do the both the straining and the pouring at the same time, because I can pour it back into this big bowl without having to deal with spills. Because if I spill an amount here right now, then you're going to be questioning the validity of the juice test, because how much is on the table? 1 ounce, 3 ounces, who knows? So for better or worse, this is the way to do it. So I'll do it on the other machine the same exact way. You did see I zeroed that out. Oh, this is so full. I did lose some, and I forgot to strain it. So, but I find that the celery pulp in both these machines is very, very light. I think they're comparable. I do think ours is a little bit less, depending on the celery, but it's again very comparable. So that's not really a big thing that we're going to do a comparison on now. I do definitely have a mess on the table. I don't think it's substantial enough to try and put back into the measurement here. So you see where we're at. I'm sitting backwards, so I assume that's 211 and 7/8. Make sure you can see that good. And then we'll do the Nama as soon as I get a paper towel to clean up this mess. Okay, so you saw the measurement on that. I'll get this big bowl of juice out of the way. There's that measuring cup, and things are starting to get a little messy around here. You can see we have a ton of juice. I'll just move that there, but you'll always be able to see it. It's not going anywhere. Get the scale away for now. I'll bring the Nama a little bit more into view. Juice cup. Let's get. I want to move the bowl here. A bit better out of view. Okay, we'll do the timer again. Up. Reset. Start. Okay, we're starting with the Nama. To preload this, handful in, another handful in, make sure not to drop any, a little bit more in there, shut it, open that, and reduce it. So some people say you can set it and forget it and walk away. I think I addressed this in the last video. I mean, that's a great concept, a slow cooker. But with juicing, it doesn't really make sense because right now you have, it's slowly down to about here and it's working its way down. How far can you really walk away and do anything of substance, other than, look out a window or, I don't know. It's not a lot of time. So we're going to have to keep putting celery in here probably 2 or 3 more times. That it doesn't make sense for me to walk away and save 1 minute here or 1 minute there, because you don't want this running empty. You don't want your juice overflowing. If you're running with the flap closed, you don't want the juice to overflow here. So there's a lot of things that you should really just stay here anyway. Now, to have a better experience, maybe to shorten your juicing time, you can maybe, because you're not doing a comparison like I am, prep your celery right now while it's going through. Cut up a bunch, put it in, start it, cut up your next bunch. You can shave some time there. We're about empty here, so let's grab a few more handfuls. I see some people will slowly put some pieces in the hole, but then you could have just bought a non-batch juicer. So I think this is the easiest way. We're not going to waste anything. Make sure everything's in there. So start again. And we go. We are 2.25 minutes right now. There's the juice so you can see it. And kind of low. I'll fill some up back again. You notice both machines, the noise level is about the same in both machines. These are both very quiet machines. Until I listen back to the video, I don't know if there's any noise transferring from the machines through the table than making it seem worse than it is. Just because I haven't juiced in this house before, but we'll see when we get to that point. There, I just did another thing. We're now 3.25 minutes. And I think I'll be able to get the last batch in here when it's empty again, and that'll be the rest of it. So while this is going, the horizontal juicer is the first low-speed juicer. It's a design that I helped innovate back in 2000. I think the last video I wasn't sure on the exact date, but I did go back and work with the factory and try to figure out exactly when we did launch that. Basically what happened is I found a multi-purpose machine that was on the marketplace, and one of the things it could do was juicing, but not very good. I worked with the factory for about a year, and we launched it under the brand name of what our family business was at that time, and that was the first low-speed juicer ever available in the marketplace. That was my innovation. So, if you're using a low-speed juicer today, it's because of me, or it wouldn't be available. So we're 4 minutes, 40 seconds. I'm going to open this up, put this last batch in. Doesn't look like we'll overflow the juice, so that's good. Just a couple little, I don't think they'll be of any substance, but we'll get them in there. We'll shut it. A few years later, wanted to take something like the horizontal juicer, but listen to a few complaints I had. One of them was really the amount of space it took up, because it was a little bit more sizable than this machine back then. I did develop the concept of the vertical juicer then. I really sketched it out one day, went back to the same factory and said, hey, can your engineers make this style work on a vertical axis? And it took, I'd say, almost 2 years before it was able to be launched under 2 different brand names at that time. The factory's brand name and the company that I was at that moment, our family business at the time. And that was the first set of vertical juicers, again, based on my innovation. So, when it comes down to it, if there's any low-speed juicer on the market, there's very few things that they're doing that do not have something that was based on one of my ideas, one of my sketches, and really taking machines that are subpar, and I can help make them better. So, I know how low-speed juicers work, probably better than anyone. So we're at 6 minutes. There's still a little bit of pulp coming out. There's still some juice coming out. 6:21. But at least in between those batches, I guess you could have went and read the newspaper, or, you know, I think most people, if they're doing anything, they're going to browse an app for a few seconds and then go back to juicing. So juices stopped with 6:42. Let's say it was 6.5 minutes. So we were around closer to 5 minutes for the. I'll stop that. We're closer to 5 minutes over here. So we definitely are quicker juicing process with that little bit of extra work of just putting the celery into the machine. I wasn't able to walk away and do anything of any great deal using a batch juicer. Pulp, very similar between the two machines. You know, I think the moisture content's about the same. The close flat. Let me see if there's any left in here. Don't want to cheat. A few drops in there. Let's close that. Less mess over here. We do have an upgraded version of this, a 727, that does have a juice spout here. But I also think sometimes the more parts, the more things that can break or get in your way or not be used properly. So we do not offer it on this machine. There's a juice we have from this machine. I think the best way to do it is, again, to weigh it. So we're at least doing apples to apples, celery to celery. Let's get the scale. Okay, let's turn it on. Give me some space here. Put this bowl on. I'm not going to strain it again because I forgot to strain the first one. Okay, so let's zero this one out. 0. Let's pour in the juice. You can tell the pour of both of them. You don't. It's not thick or anything. It's very thin. Although that might have been a leaf that just dropped in there. There we go. 2.4. What we're at on the other one at 2.11 maybe. So I'm reading this backwards in the camera, but I think that's what we're looking at here. 2.4, 2.11. I don't know what the fraction is from here, but you know, we're already 7 ounces better in the sauna than we were with the Nama. We took an extra minute to prep the produce here. We took about an extra minute and a half, I think it was, to juice the produce here for 3.5 pounds of celery. We have 7 ounces more juice here. The pulp level will be about the same. You know, I could do a separate video where I don't forget to do that, but it's basically the same with both machines and all my testing. I will try and do a cleanup video here maybe if I can find a right way to set up the camera and still see everything. But I'll tell you right now that you have 5 simple, easy to clean parts right here. That's going to take me roughly 30 seconds. Here we have, you know, much more complex parts, even though it's 5 pieces. I didn't use the plunger in either machines, but they would both just rinse off. But as far as everything attached to the machine, we have 5 pieces again, and they are much more complex than what we are dealing with over here. So this will be at least 90 seconds in my what I've seen in the past. So, you know, it probably took a few more seconds to put this one together. So we're definitely saving time over here with the sauna, and we're getting more juice. So I think it's a win. I mean, ultimately the price is very similar to these two machines. The warranty is very similar to machines. Motor is very similar to these two machines. The extraction process, especially at least on celery right now, clear winner. The time it takes to juice, clear winner. So, and the time it takes to clean up, you're going to have a clear winner here. So I think what it comes down to deciding what's best for you, I think we won in all the categories or pushed in the rest. There's been no wins over here. I do not have the parts with me right now because I'm kind of on the move. This is not my house. We're house sitting for a family member, so I thought I'd get a different look. So I only have the parts I needed to juice celery. What do we have beside those parts? We both have the coarse screens, so that's the same. We both have a smoothie or blank type attachment to do solids. That's the same. They just started including that here where we've always included that. Again, I think that's NAMA trying to somehow catch up with Sana as far as our innovation and offerings and trying to make sure that they're doing as well as we do in the marketplace. We do have pasta attachments for this, so you can make pasta with this machine. You can extrude pasta. So that celery cap, you replace it with one of the caps, and it'll do more like a dough. You can also do the other two caps will do more like a traditional pasta, very fine pasta like capellini and things like that. A small linguine. I don't know what the technical terms would be, but that's what I would call them. You can do frozen desserts in both machines. So that's a little bit of a push, but with the blank you can do nut butters, so roasted salted peanuts go into the machine, peanut butter comes out. I don't think we have a video up yet, but if you look at our Instagram page or our Facebook page, we do have some pictures of that being done or some short clips of that being done, and it's quite amazing how simple it is because you don't have to add oil, you don't have to wait for it to heat up or anything like that. You put it in, you cut it out. If you want it creamier, put it in again, let it come out a second time. So we do have an advantage there with the pasta extraction that you will not have with any type of vertical machine. So, you know, I don't know where the NAMA wins on any category at this point. So I think the 707C is the clear winner, especially being in the same price range. The 727 that we do offer is kind of like the upgraded big brother of this. I think this is for everybody here with the 707. The 727 might be a little bit more of an expert juicer. It does not have the pasta attachments because we wanted to go for extremely efficient juicing, and we do have variable speeds to get to the lowest speed possible for some things, so we have less oxidation. Speeds are roughly the same in these machines, so there's no great advantage there. So I think we have a clear winner. I will see if I can set up a way to clean here without making a mess in this kitchen, but still be able to capture it on my camera. But I think as far as the setup, the juicing, the efficiency, the specs, and so on, we have the winner. Thanks, guys.